These are my most anticipated gaming laptops of 2021 so far. The Asus Flow X13 was the one gaming laptop I think everybody was talking about in 2021 already. It is a super thin, super light 13-inch laptop, the kind of thing you might see and go, oh, that's kind of like a MacBook. It's kind of like an XPS 13. Inside, it actually has some decent gaming chops. It's got an Nvidia 1650 graphics card inside. Now, that is not a super high-end gaming part, but it's pretty good for casual gaming, and most 13-inch laptops would never even have something like that. The real catch is there's a second part that comes with this laptop. Asus calls it the XG Mobile, and what it is an external GPU box. It's about the size of a small tablet, and you connect it to the laptop. Inside this external GPU box has a brand new Nvidia 3080 GPU, the new laptop version of that, and it has its own power supply to drive that graphics card and the laptop itself. You just connect the two parts via a cable, and now you have got this full graphics card powering this little tiny 13-inch laptop. People have tried to do external GPU boxes before. They're either too proprietary or too expensive, or they don't work well enough. This is an interesting take on it because it leaves you with something that is still an okay-ish gaming laptop even when you're not using it. We just got this model into review, and I am looking forward to checking it out even more. The Acer Predator Triton 300 SE is for those times when you want something that is a gaming laptop but doesn't necessarily look like a gaming laptop. Now that's especially surprising considering this is an Acer Predator, because that brand has always been kind of in your face with the gamer-heavy designs. This looks more like a standard business or mainstream laptop. It's got a little bit of that retro squared-off aluminum MacBook vibe to it, but inside it's got the new Nvidia 3060 GPU. It's not the highest-end new GPU, but this is also not the most expensive new gaming laptop, and you want something that has that crossover potential. You can use it every day, you could take it to work back when we go back to the office someday, and nobody's going to say, what is that crazy-looking gaming laptop? But you still want to be able to play games on it. It's about 18 millimeters thick, which is pretty thin for a 15-inch gaming laptop. I would kind of call this a stealth gaming machine when you want to do some gaming but don't want to look like it. Lenovo makes some really nice gaming laptops, but it's not always the brand you think of first when you say, oh, I'm going to go buy a gaming PC. Well, they've got a new flagship model for 2021 that looks really cool. It is the Lenovo Legion 7. Legion is Lenovo's gaming line, and it has an interesting upgrade from last year's mainstream Legion models. It takes the 15-inch screen and upgrades it to a 16-inch screen and goes from a 16:9 aspect ratio to a 16:10 aspect ratio. That makes the screen a little bit taller, gives you a little more real estate. This is an interesting way to get more screen in not that much more space. Like a lot of the other new gaming laptops we're going to see in 2021, it combines an AMD Ryzen really gaming-intensive CPU with Nvidia's new 3000 series gaming laptop GPUs. On top of that, this guy also has a G-Sync display and HDR, so there's really a lot of good stuff built into the actual screen. I wouldn't call this a super slim or an ultra portable laptop. It's about 5.5 pounds, a little bit under an inch thick, and for a 16-inch screen laptop, it's pretty good. Then there's the Asus Zephyrus Duo 15 SE. That's a really long name that tells me that this device has a second screen on it. Now, second screens have never really caught on. Apple's Touch Bar is basically a second screen, and that does not have a ton of fans. Asus has worked on this Duo concept for about a year or so now. There were some early models in 2020. In 2021, there's a ZenBook Duo that we got to play around with that was actually really cool, and there's also a Zephyrus Duo, which is the same sort of design, but in a more gaming-forward laptop. Now, the secondary screen on these, it pops up a little bit from the keyboard tray. It sort of lines up with the bigger screen, so they seem to flow into each other. In the case of the ZenBook, I really like that if you use Adobe software like Photoshop or Premiere or Illustrator, there are built-in automatic controls that pop up on that second screen when you launch those apps. They can be jog wheels, they can be all sorts of other Photoshop controls. In a gaming laptop, I feel there's a lot of opportunity to take parts of games that you may want to access, whether it's maps or inventory screens or anything like that, and put it on that second screen, which is a pretty hefty size for a second screen on a laptop. Now, it really depends on the game developers or modders to come up with software that will let you break out the different parts of these games and put a nice useful thing on that second screen. That's the part of the equation that's not quite there yet. But compared to the first several generations of secondary screen laptops, which really go back years, that were more gimmicky than useful, I've already seen this Asus Duo version be really useful, and I have high hopes that it's going to continue to be with gaming. This could be the system that really makes second screen laptop gaming something that makes sense. The last on my list of most anticipated gaming laptops of 2021 so far for me is not a huge sea change upgrade, but it offers some new options on things that are very important to gamers. I'm talking about the Razer Blade 15 Advanced line. This has always been one of my favorite gaming laptop lines. They look fantastic, they got really good component options, and they've got all those crazy colors that you can adjust because it's Razer if you're into that kind of thing. In the advanced model, it's the 3070 and the 3080, the two higher end parts there. That's fantastic, but what I'm actually more excited about is the large number of display options that you can get with this system. Some people want a very high resolution, some people want a certain type of screen, and of course, some people want a very high refresh rate. That's especially important for esports people, competitive gamers. If you want to go somewhere in the middle, they have a QHD option that's 2560 by 1440. That's actually one of my favorite resolutions for gaming because it's better than regular HD, but it's not going to kill your battery life and your performance the way 4K might. So it's a good compromise, and that you can get a 240Hz screen, also very good. There's also a 4K OLED touchscreen option. This is really one of the only gaming laptops I can think of that offers an OLED screen. I've got an old version of this, and the OLED screen just looks fantastic. It's only a 60Hz screen, so that's the trade-off, the resolution and what type of screen it is versus the refresh rate. So Razer's always made really great gaming laptops, and I like that now especially they're offering you a lot of options to customize the display, which is not always the first thing you think of when you think about what's important in your gaming laptop, but probably even equal to the GPU. It's super key, and you want to make the right choice there. We've got big traditional gaming laptops, we've got super slim ones with external GPUs, we've got stealth gaming laptops that don't look like gaming laptops. These are some of my most anticipated gaming laptops that I'm looking forward to checking out in 2021.